Testing, testing. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is the 15th of March, 2021. It's 12:53 in the afternoon, and I am back in my office, so we have a lot to go over. As you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. I'm just giving my opinion on the market. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the S&P 500. I'm also going to take a look at NASDAQ. And full disclosure, as with most of my videos, I'm going to be taking a look at a lot of these charts for the very first time. So this is all going to be off the cuff. So you guys can get a view into how my mind works, how I think. I don't have anything that's pre-done. So this is raw for you guys. And again, not an entertainer here. This is all business. So let's go ahead and get into the chart. Let's take a look at the chart. All right, so taking a look at Bitcoin, we've got a lot that we've been tracking. Not a whole lot has changed. So one thing that I will say here is off of these lows, so we've got this low back here at about 43,000, right, where we're talking about buying. Algo said to buy, not Algo, the Waves said to buy. Waves said to buy back here. Waves said to buy down here. The the 12-hour was like, yeah, you really need to be buying right here. That worked out really well. We had a nice 5-wave structure up. This was very impulsive to the upside. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We didn't have a violation. Wave 4 did not go into wave 1. So this was a good move. Good 5 waves up, and then we had a correction. It was straight move down. And if I remember correctly, let's just take a look at this. Taking this from the low to the high. Let me make a slight adjustment to that. I'm using a different template here. Let's take a look. There's our 618 right there. I'm not on log, I'm on linear. If I go to log, that pulled right to the 618. One way or another, that looked pretty good. We're going to keep it on linear for right now because we're really dug in pretty good here. So we're really only looking at price action for about the last month. So I feel okay putting this on linear instead of logarithmic. Okay, so that was a good pullback, right? And again, the Waves said, you really should be buying here. And actually, if you take a look at the Waves indicator right now, and if you have access to our Discord, you have access to this. If you're a member on our Discord, you have access to this indicator, and you can see this all in real time. We're getting close to a very similar setup that we had back here. Okay, we're getting very close to the same setup that we had back here. I don't know if we are done yet. So a couple things, all right? 5 waves up, we had this correction, okay? I'm calling this a 1-2, right? And I'm measuring this. So you can see this dotted line here. I'm measuring this first wave, and I'm doing the pullback. So that's this guy right here. You can see it moving around, right? We go down to that wave 2. We did not quite make it to the 1618, but we got pretty darn close. Let me just remove this guy here for a moment. We got pretty darn close to that. Let me delete this guy here for a moment. All right, we got pretty close. Then off of this low, what I actually think that we've got here is a 1, 2, 3. I believe that 4 is right there, an expanded flat into wave 4, and then we've got our 5th wave. I think this wave 3 I think is actually in. Okay, this looks good. Again, I only see this as a wave 3. All right, I only see this as a wave 3. So what does that mean, right? So if we're looking at this from an Elliott wave perspective, and that's how I take a look at all of my charts, Well, there's a couple things. All right, so yeah, we got really close here to this 1618, which means we should be paying attention to the 2618, right? So we've got this wave 4 somewhere down here, and let me see if I can find where that wave 5 is. The wave 5 is right up there. I'm putting that wave 5 right here at about 72,000. All right, that's going to be my wave 5. All right, let me zoom out here for a moment. Again, we've been tracking this, as you can see, for a long time. All right, we've got this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we have an extension here into wave 3. Then we come down for wave 4, and then we go up for wave 5. You're looking for the $100,000 moonshot. That's not going to happen for a while, right? You're going to have to wait a little while. It's probably going to happen after April. So just keep an eye on that, right? But we've been tracking these 618 pullbacks for a while. And if this is how things are going to play out, well, then we've got this 1, 2, 3. I think we've got another leg down. I think actually we're going to consolidate here for a while. Okay, I think we are going to consolidate here for a while. Couple things. Now that we've got things laid out, I'm going to remove this just to clean up the chart a little bit. Let's just take a look at just the price action. We've got our waves that are right here in the price action. Couple things here. Let's take our horizontal ray and we're going to tag it right at the top of this wave 1, right there. This is going to be your bullish invalidation, at least for, let's put here, so we're going to get bullish invalidation for this specific count, right? This is going to be what we encounter that's going to basically show that we are wrong. All right, you got to know when you're wrong. We're wrong if we break down below 52,650, basically, on spot prices. So what would I be looking for? Well, what I'm looking at right now, this is not going to happen quickly, but what I see is I see a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4. We go down for the wave 5. How low is that going to go? Well, let's just take a look at a couple things. I actually don't know that that's going to be wave 4. I think wave 4 is actually going to be out here a little ways, because more than likely what's going to happen is we're going to see this move down, A, B, C. We're going to get that push up because, again, down here, the waves is saying, yeah, we're going to probably bounce. But the daily, or really the 12 hours, still saying, yeah, we might have a little more consolidation at least. So we got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still coming back down here before we go up. And again, this is going to take time, right? This angle is probably not right. It's probably going to look a little more like this. One way or another, that 4 is probably not going to come in until later this month. All right, it's going to take some time. But what I would be looking for is a good trade setup, and I think we are getting really close to having a really good trade setup. I'm going to put this guy right here for right now. And again, this is something you're going to have to hold for a while. All right, what did I say? About 72,000 all the way up there? It's about 33%. But what's our risk? Well, we've got our bullish invalidation level right there. So we're only risking 2.46%, which isn't bad. Let's just see here. We've got this 1, 2, 3. All right, we've got a 1, 2, 3 contender. So we're going to take our fib. We're going to measure from the bottom. Look left. Measure at the bottom of that yellow 2. Take this to the top of the yellow 3, and let's put the 50 on here. All right, so let's take the 50, the 618, right there. And actually, that's about spot on from where I eyeballed it. At 54,000, that is where I would be interested in buying. 54,000, stop loss at about 52,650. That seems to me like that would be a pretty good trade setup. And really, that's a pretty deep 4, if I had to say. We're not invalid because we're not overtaking this wave 1 here. And just looking left, is there something else that could potentially work? If we did invalidate that, is there something else that would lend to a bullish case? And right now I'm not seeing it. Basically what I'm seeing here is this, and then we've got this up, and then really if this gets invalidated, we're going to come back down. Right? And this was actually our original scenario. I'm going to take a look at one more thing here. I'm going to take a look from this high right there. I'm going to do this real quick, and then we're going to pivot down here to this low where, okay, I'm going to put the -236 and the -382 on here. Actually, I'm going to have to put the 1382, because I've got this backwards. 1382 is up there. Where's my 1236? I'm just going to have to make it 1.236. Put that right there. So it's possible, right? So we're looking at this with a bullish perspective. Let's look at it really quick with a bearish perspective, because you have to take a look at both of these. If this is not the wave 4 down here, then basically what you're going to be looking at is an A, this be the B, and then we go down for the C, which could, again, potentially come all the way back down here to these prices, back to about 45, 46,000. This is going to be your alternate, okay? So if you're going to try and go long, this is your alternate scenario. This is, we're going to call it the red scenario. This is your alternate, because if this is 5, then we go up for 3, and then we got a deeper wave, well, then we're not looking at a 1, 2, 3 anymore. This is really just an A, B, C. So we've got this WXY, ABC, WXY, up here into the B, and then we have this 5, 3, 5 to come down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a trade that I'd be willing to take because of the way waves looks. I would be waiting for it to come back down here to about 54. Okay, if you're going to go long, this is what I would be looking for. Wait for it to come back down to about 54. You've got your stop loss right there, right? Would I go short on this push up here? Well, that's going to be up to you. If you are a hedging person, I would say to catch the long down here at 54, take the short potentially at about 58 to 59. If we're going to go down, we're not going to break 60 again. Okay, if we're going to go down, we're not going to break 60 again. There's a hedge there for you. So let both of them play out, and whichever one stops out, that's going to be one that you get out of. But if you take a long down here and then you are able to catch a short up here at 58 or 59, well, then you've got a good spread, right? You've got a good spread there, and one of them is going to pay out. One of them is going to be charging you funding, but one of them is going to pay out pretty well. So that depends on how you want to do that. I'm not going to talk about any short setups until I actually see how this resolves. I do believe it's probably going to make another low, right? There's going to be a rate of this low. I almost guarantee it. That's where I'd be interested in buying. If we can get the 1 hour and the 3 hour all in oversold at the same time, because again, there will be a point in time where this stops working. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But historically speaking, it worked here. It worked here. It worked here, a good bounce. It worked here, a good bounce, right? It has worked more than it has not. It worked here. It worked here. It worked here, right? So all of the times where we have gotten a good buy, it's worked out. Now, obviously, it's better if this 12-hour is in oversold also, but you can at least get a bounce. You can get a bounce out of this. If you're a scalper, you can scalp along out of this, right? Even if you got in right here, right? You were able to pull, you know, a good 32% on that trade, okay? And I know there are some of you that did. That was a good trade. We were talking about, you know, hey, you should probably be buying. Buy here. And then we were talking about getting out, right? We were talking about getting out up here, right? So I went short around here, and I did eventually get out of that trade. And then when I saw this guy, I was like, yeah, this is an expanded flat. And what happened? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is why I think this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish that move. Now we look like we are working on wave 4, finishing wave 4, we go down for wave 5. That's what it looks like is happening right now, which means we should have an A, B, C, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to come back down here. So I think you're going to get 2 opportunities to go long. The question is, are you going to take the first opportunity to go long, or are you going to try and wait for the second opportunity, which is going to be riskier, right? In my opinion, that second opportunity, you wouldn't have an opportunity to get a good short to pull back down here, grab some profit, have some bankroll to get into this long and get a good, you know, we've got a good trade setup here. All right, anyway, enough of that. Enough of Bitcoin. This is what I think is going on. I think we're going to get this 5th wave down here to about 54,000. That's where I would be looking to get a long position. And then we can, again, see ourselves going right back up. All right, let's take a look at the S&P. What does the S&P look like? All right, so let me just kind of clean this guy up here really quick. I'm going to remove this guy. He's important, but what I'm really focused on right now is the current price action, because again, I think that we've got a good contender for a 1, 2 off of this wave 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, A, B, C, D, E into the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? This is into wave 1. Let me change the degree on this just so it looks a little better. All right? 1, A, B, C into the A, B, C into the B, and then A, B, C into wave 2. All right? So we've got good wave 2 here. So from the 4, we've got 1, 2. Now we're working on wave 3. All right, so I've got wave 3 kind of hanging out up here. All right, we're just going to kind of keep an eye on him for right now. But what I can see here, I've got a good, at least what I think is a good scenario. We've got this first wave up for a 1, A, B, C for an expanded flat into the 2. Then we've got this 3, 4, 5 into the 1. We've got a pullback for the 2. Okay. The other way you could look at this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't like that, right? It doesn't, geometrically, it doesn't work. I like this better as an expanded flat. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 1. Then we've got the 2. All right. 1, 2. And then from there, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go up for that wave 5. I don't like how long it's taking for this to resolve. More than likely, we're going to see a good move up sometime tomorrow. It doesn't look like it's going to happen today. Today looks like a very blah day. It's moving sideways. There's not a whole lot of movement today. So I would just kind of wait for things to resolve. And, you know, it's tough because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So potentially the 1 is here, the 2 is here. Then we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be the 3, right? And then 4, and then we just go up for a little wave 5. And it doesn't go as high, which is still going to be okay. One way or another, I'm still anticipating slightly higher prices on SPY, right? This does look very much like a wave 4. It's just moving sideways. It's consolidating before you eventually get the break up and then the pullback before we see newer highs, right, before we break 4,000. I think that first time we try and hit 4,000, like we tried back here at 39.60, didn't work. I think we're going to make a push for it. Based on what I see down here, it looks like we were creating a bit of a bottom, an inverted head and shoulders, right? You can see here's the left shoulder, here's the head, here's the right shoulder, and it pushes up, right? I think that's already played out, just for the record. I think that's already come and gone, right? But I still think we will try and make a run for 4,000. I think if there's any stop losses for shorts, they're going to be at 4,000. Yes, I will take a look at ICX. It's been doing pretty good. I'll take a look at that there at the end. One way or another, I still think we're going to see some higher prices on the S&P. I do think we're going to make a push for 4,000. I do not think we push through. If we do, it's going to be a false push through. I actually think that 4,000 to 4,020, 4,040. Right, so on SPY, you're taking a look at 400 to 404. Probably a good place to start looking for some SPXU. So some conservative short positions to get a little bit of a pullback. Because if that does create a bit of a top, it's going to come down pretty hard. So that's something to pay attention to, something to look at. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So for right now, let's take a look at NASDAQ. All right, so NASDAQ, we were already taking a look at this, and I haven't changed this chart in a while. NASDAQ was weaker than the S&P. But I do believe that there is more upside for NASDAQ than there is on S&P. Dow has been very powerful. S&P is a close second. NASDAQ has just been continuing to bleed and really hasn't been performing very well. Has not been performing very well. Let me just remove this guy. All right, so I've had this for a while. We've been taking a look at potentially a move up to about 15,750. That's where I actually think we're probably going to create a pretty significant top. More than likely, it's not going to happen at the trajectory that I currently have. More than likely, this guy is going to come all the way out here. This wave 4 is going to come all the way out here, and this wave 5 is going to probably come all the way out here. It may actually extend and go even higher. Now we're taking a look at this probably until like June or July before we see prices that do something like this. Moving up to 15,750 more than likely is where things are going to go. It's going to happen very slowly. Okay. Unfortunately, I see that we've got. I'd really like to remove this, but I want to keep it there for right now. Off these lows, which by the way, we were seeing some buys down here. I see a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, working up for that 5, hitting that zone right there on our lowest degree, right? So keeping an eye on this guy, sort of a leading diagonal potentially into this. So again, tomorrow potentially a push up, or maybe it's going to happen in after hours trading. But from there, I think we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. So I'm taking a look at this again as just a wave 1. We're going to get this pullback to wave 2, probably coming right back down to where we're at right now. Then we're going to see a stronger 3. And then a 4, a pullback for the 4, maybe retest these highs over here, and then we go up for this wave 5. This is what we're looking for right there at about 14,720. Push this up, change the color, get some contrast, and that's what I'm looking at right now. So again, short term, taking a look, a little spike up, you see a little bit of a pullback, and then we see this push up above that trend line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, and then a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what I think we're going to see on SPY. Long term, this is what I think is going to happen, right? This is what I think is going to happen, and which would mean that this guy right here, what we've really got is, and then from a geometry standpoint, and again, I think geometry is important, right? So some of those things that that you were taught in high school, I actually think are pretty important here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. All right, I need to get this 1 out of the way so I can change this guy, move him up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, geometry I might have wrong on this, but I think this is generally speaking what's going to happen. So our level of invalidation is going to be a violation of this low right here. I mean, it's as simple as that. At 12,200, we can't go below 12,200. So again, let's just mark it out. Mark it out right about, and let's see here if I can't get this. I use a trackball for my mouse, and sometimes it's hard to get good precision on this. There we go. So this is going to be our bullish invalidation, and there it is. It's as simple as that. So yes, we're obviously much higher compared to that. So this isn't a good trade setup to go long here, right? If we get a pullback to a 618, well then we'll talk. Then we'll talk. But for right now, I don't see a really fantastic trade setup right now. Yes, I do think it's going to go up, but you know, stop lossing here, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't take that trade. I think I would wait for it to do a pullback, right? Let it finish 5 waves up, even if it is a diagonal. Let it finish 5 waves up, take the pullback. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at ICX. ICX versus Tether. All right. Oh, I actually have taken a look at this guy. All right. Oh, it's been a long time since I've taken a look at ICX. All right. So let me clear off some of this. So we've got some old stuff, and actually we were talking about pushing above this, getting the pullback, and obviously that happened. I'm going to go to a log scale. Okay, there we go. This looks a little bit better. I'm going to move to a 6 hour. I want to get some more price action in here. So yeah, we're actually at our level where things were supposed to pull back. We were right in between the 1618 to the 175. So again, off of this low, 1, 2, and I believe this is actually the 3, and I think we're in the middle of a 4 before we go up to 5. So somebody mentioned ICX going to go up to $5. Well, yes, I would agree. I would totally agree with that, and I would actually think that it could potentially go even higher. Really, the target for ICX, do I have a 2618? I don't have a 2618 on this. Let me put the 2618 on here, because that's going to be our wave 5 target, and that's going to be at actually up here at about $11.50. So that's actually going to be where our wave 5 target is. And the way that it looks, all right, so a lot of people have been paying a lot of attention to alternation. When we're talking about Elliott wave, alternation means when you have a wave 2 that's very sharp, which is what we had, wave 4 more than likely is not going to be as sharp. It's going to just consolidate. So I actually don't think we're going to come down this low. Probably we're just going to stay inside of this trading range for a while. All right, so I'm going to put that wave 5 right up there. I'm going to delete this just to clean things up. I'm going to delete this. All right, we had a pullback right down here to the 236. Okay, I don't think we're going to break down below that 236. Like, do I think we're going to pull back some? I think we're going to get another push down, right? I do think that we are going to get another push down here. So again, we've got this little A, B. I think we're going to get a little push down here. And that's where I would be interested in buying. I'm bullish on alts. Most alts I'm pretty bullish on right now. I do think that ICX is going to hit $5, but I actually believe it's probably going to hit up here above $11. Okay, so let's say you buy right now, and let's say it does go up to $8, $9. You've got significant profit. I mean, this sucker's at $1.84 right now. So we're really talking about, you know, like 800%. Is that right? Am I doing that calculation in my head properly? No, I'm not. We're really talking 500%. But at any rate, you're going to see yourself up several 100%. You're not going to know when to sell. I'm telling you that you need to be selling, taking profit, or moving up stop losses once this guy gets up to $7, $8, $9. Once it hits $10 and you don't sell, you're being greedy. You need to move up your stop losses. That's the most non-financial advice that I can give you. If you see yourself in significant profits, it could potentially move up higher, but you have to take a look at the opportunity cost of holding and watching your profits wither away. All I can really say right now is I would suggest in moving up stop losses, taking profits, leaving some runners, and just letting things go. That would be my suggestion for this if ICX does what I think it's going to do. Now, is it going to come back down to $1.21? It might not. I tend to believe it probably will, and if it does, I'll probably take that trade if I happen to be watching at the time. All right, let's go to the hourly here, and let's just take a look at the waves on ICX. Okay, what do we see here? Well, right now, I saw, obviously it's already spiked up quite a bit, right? It went up like, what, 10%? The waves actually said to buy. If you take a look at this, the 1 hour, the 3 hour, and the 12 hour was all way down here, and the 12 hour said to buy right here at about $1.68. And what happened? Well, it's currently up, 10% from there, but it spiked up as much as 26% because this candle right here was a 10% candle. That was fantastic. So, is it going to come back down now? I mean, it might, but for right now, it actually looks pretty good. I have to say the icon looks pretty good right now. It really does. Let's just see what kind of a pullback that we've got. This doesn't look impulsive. This looks corrective. So potentially, we came down to the 50. I think it'll probably come down to about $1.50. And I think that'll probably be the completion of this. So what it looks like, not a WM, we can count it as a WXY. Here, A, B, C into the X, and then A, B, C down here into this Y. I don't know if it's going to stop there. We may be inside of a little bit of a wedge. One way or another, it does look pretty good. I have to say, it does look pretty good. Icon looks really good. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If this video did help in any way, shape, or form, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you need access to our Discord, there's a link in the video description. There should be a link in the video description. You can also go to our YouTube channel. There's all kinds of educational content there. And of course, in our Discord, we provide a lot of different educational content in there as well for our members, and as well as trades with both stocks and crypto. We're pretty heavy on stocks, but we do dabble into crypto pretty well also. All right, and of course, last but not least, wherever you're in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening.